Welcome, Meeraben, to my YouTube channel. I am honored to have you on this platform.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So, for our viewers, Meeraben Rajda, she has worked in a social sector all her life and she's done some wonderful work. And that is a reason I've invited her to join us on this platform as a woman of substance. So, Meeraben, do you want to tell our viewers a little bit about your work? What have you been doing all your life?
Okay. I began my work in 1967.
Okay.
I passed out from College of Social Work, Nirmala Niketan in Bombay,
Okay.
after doing my graduation from St. Xavier's College.
All right.
And whilst I was in St. Xavier's College itself, I was a very active member in the, not the NSS, it was called differently.
Right.
It was a social work department where the vice principal used to take the students out to various camps and to visit hospitals and all that.
Okay.
So actually that was the second time when I really started getting interested in social work. My first introduction to social work was my own grandfather, that means my mother's paternal uncle.
Okay.
And he was doing social work in Karnataka. I am from Karnataka, Mysore, and but we were living in Bombay.
Okay.
Every summer we visited our grandparents in Karnataka, that is Chitradurga and Holalkere. And there, whenever I came, my grandfather would make me sit. He would sit with me, talk to me about what he was doing. And since I could speak English and he wanted someone to write out what he has been doing, he would dictate to me all about the social work he was doing. And his name is H.V. Kodandaramaiah. He's of course no more now. And he was working with the underprivileged,
Okay.
then the tribals, the hill tribes.
Okay.
And I was very, very interested in what he was doing. And I was amazed at his, need to do this kind of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then after I passed out from Nirmala Niketan, it so happened that I joined in Bombay itself an agency. It was called a welfare agency those days. It was for Parsi organizations, and I was the first social worker who was a Hindu,
Yes.
a non-Parsi.
Non-Parsi. Okay.
Yeah, a non-Parsi. So it was great working there because it was a welfare agency and I got exposure to all the problems that a human being would have.
All right.
Yeah. And because I was a non-Parsi, I could see it from out of the box.
Right.
Actually, the why I was appointed there also was because of this. Lady Jahangir had always felt that there should be somebody who sees the work that the organization, the Parsi charities were doing from out of the box. So that was my first experience. And then my husband moved to Pune.
Okay.
So when I moved to Pune, I could not get a proper opening.
Okay.
So what I did was I looked up the various welfare agencies that the government was running. And then I wanted to do voluntary work. So I joined the remand home.
Okay.
This was the correction center for the boys.
All right.
And here I learned my real Marathi.
All right.
Because the children there would talk the typical Marathi, and the words that they used were unbelievable.
Okay.
And then I saw a lot of improvement that I could do in this kind of an organization, because some children were just branded as delinquents.
All right.
So therefore, as a social worker, you have a lot of patience, and especially you have a lot of patience, and you hear them out, and then you go into the whole case, and then you recommend what should be done. So this way I learned a little bit more about the human nature, human miseries, all that at this place. And then one of my friends just told me about an ad which came up for the Dr. Beck and Company. Yeah, now I was still not on the family way then. And so I went for an interview, but when I went for the medical test, it was I came to know I was on the family way, so therefore they could not take me up. Those days, the law was different. The industrial law was different, and they could not take me because they would have to give me 3 months leave, and just starting. And this was the first time. This was Dr. Beck is a part of Mahindra, was a part of Mahindra and Mahindra.
Right.
So I could not join. But again, later on, they again had put up an ad, and that time I was able to join them because I'd already delivered my daughter.
Okay.
So here, this was my first exposure to industrial social work.
Okay.
When I joined here, it was then called the industrial social work.
Okay.
And I was the first person to join them. That is the Dr. Beck and Company. So it was a challenge to me to convince the management right from the top till the lower down as to what social work was.
Okay.
So beginning from what is social work and what I could do, I had to sort of take time to tell them.
Right.
But what I found is anybody who is receptive, they understand social work very easily.
Right.
Because social work comes from within. It's not something that is, put on.
Yes.
So, yeah. So since it comes from within, it becomes very, and it is not, what shall I say? It's very, very sensitive.
Right.
So you can understand because sometime or the other people have gone through it. People have seen it. People know it. There is a wish, either their religion tells them or their spiritualism tells them to help people, to give back. So it is quite easy. Only thing is, what I find is people don't know how to do it, how to start, what is the approach, are there scientific methods of doing it, are there practical methods of doing it, is there a principle, is there a process? See, because actually in schools, College of Social Work, when you're studying, you're told that social work is not tangible, social work is not measurable, because this is a very visionary kind of a theory or a visionary kind of a thought.
Right.
But actually, when you get into the field, and especially when you're working for an organization, you learn and you know and you can feel and you can show that yes, it is possible to measure the social work we are doing. It is possible to see that change happens.
True. Very true.
Okay. Yeah.
So, Meeraben, I would like to know any one project which stands out, or any one experience in your life which stands out for all the work you have done, if you want to share that with our viewers.
Yeah, I would like to tell you that I've also worked as an HR manager, with a company called Force Marshall for a good 9 years.
Right.
When I was in Dr. Beck, I was looking after the employees welfare community, and I was in the welfare committee. So welfare committee was not like the other companies which had only welfare, but we also had negotiations, wages, talking to the workers, explaining to them and all that. And here I found that I could really be imaginative, and I always, since I was a social worker, I knew the habits of what people do, when they get money in hand, how it never reaches the wives or the children, and how it all goes in drinking.
Yes.
So I decided that I must think of a way where their wages would increase, but it will go in the hands of the family.
Right.
So therefore, at this company, I started what is called a credit cooperative society.
Okay.
For grocery. See, because if you give the grocery and the employee takes it to his house, then the family is fed.
Yeah, true.
And when we go and buy the grocery in the wholesale market, you get already a 15% discount.
Yeah.
So the 15% salary of theirs would have been increased.
True. Very true.
So,
very interesting.
yeah. So, but what was done is, since I was a trained social worker, professional at that, I did a survey. So I did a survey of what the people ate or drank or ate, what textile they wore, what soaps they used, what toilets, all that. I did a survey, wrote out a questionnaire, conducted a survey, and then we purchased. And after that, I set up a committee, purchase committee, so that the employees would be involved. It was not me who was involved, but it's the employees who are involved in purchasing these items. So that was that I thought impacted them a lot.
Okay.
Again, there was this rent reimbursements. Those days, government started what is called a rent, which was 5% was compulsory.
Yeah.
So bearing that in mind, I really felt, I had, as a social worker, I had visited practically everybody's home.
Okay.
So I knew in what conditions they were living.
Right.
So I said, created a slab that if they were paying, say, let's say 40 rupees, but if they took another house, they shifted to another house and were paying a higher rent, we would pay 50% of that rent.
All right.
This was motivating them to move to better houses.
Okay.
And employees really did it. They really shifted to bigger houses.
Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah. Now, the other thing was, I've always believed in participation.
Right.
So, use the methods of technique of participation. So, whatever we did, there was participation.
Okay.
So, nothing was given free.
Right.
So, it was training, and I did a lot of training programs rather than doling out the money or the charity, because I felt that in the long run, if they learn and earn and can take care of themselves, it is more sustainable.
True.
So sustaining what they like, or sustaining the work that we are doing, was more important than just charity, opening the Batwaka street.
Very true.
Yeah.
Right. So it is very interesting, because now I think everybody is talking about skill development. But in your days, you have thought about skill development. That is amazing. That's the reason I called you a visionary.
No, you see, in those days itself, I also used to link the need of the employees in the factory and what the community could give.
Right.
So the uniforms actually were stitched in the community by the ladies.
Okay.
So that means I first had to train them to that level. And so that the uniforms would be accepted and the shop floor employees would wear, I had the shop floor employees who were good in tailoring to come and teach them.
Okay, so you in fact empowered women also as part of your work.
Yeah. So this is what I try to do, link the need of the employees to what the community could give.
Yeah, very fantastic.
Yeah. Then the very important thing, which I would recommend all of us try, is the small help groups, which is called as Bachat Gat. It is amazing. It's amazing. The kind of work you can do and the scale of work that you can do is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it works like magic.
Yes.
The other thing was about, whatever the government, I must say that I used to also see that whatever the government was doing, I was not against them or against those projects. Whatever projects I could bring in, I would bring it.
Right.
Let's take the Swachh Abhiyan. Those days it had a different name.
Yeah.
It was Gadge Maharaj, Swachhata Abhiyan.
Swachhata Abhiyan.
Yeah. So right from the schools, like cleaning the toilets in the school to the streets, everything was done, not by me, by just talking to them. Yeah. And what I would do is I would be with them.
Right.
It's not I would stand far off and tell them ye karo, wo karo. And then the municipal schools and the village schools, Zilla Parishad would take note of it and help them. Yeah. So that was done. And then also building toilets. See, it was very interesting. I must tell you this story. I approached one of our one of the industry, where I was working, and I said, "Okay, I want to help this village with building toilets."
Yeah.
Those days it could be built in 4,000 rupees.
Yeah.
So this person was young and he had just come from abroad, and he said, "What, you want me to help build them toilets?" "No, I will not build them the toilets. Why should I build them the toilets?"
Right.
So he was not convinced at all. This was one case where I said, "Oh my God, how do I convince?" I was just not able to convince. So I went back home and I thought about it and I thought about it. And then it struck to me that he is right. Why should we help build the toilets? They should learn why the. And then we worked out a training program just for 7 days.
Okay.
And the training helped the whole village. It was a small village. The whole village built 100 toilets in one go. And then the Zilla Parishad was so pleased that they gave them a lot of fun.
Okay.
So there are things, that we can do by imagination or by thinking over it, and have actually what I felt through my social work was, if I have conviction. Yeah, so this, and so therefore working with women, empowering them, then education. Education was a big part in my all the social work that I've done all through my life. Without education, I don't think it is possible to really make a change.
Absolutely. So, Meeraben, one question I have is that, is there any challenge you face during your work which, stands out to you,
Yeah. Yes, the challenge is, like wherever you go, see, you are going, they are not coming to you. See, if I'm sitting in a welfare agency, they come.
Yeah.
That means they have a problem, they know that this is the welfare agency for family planning, family welfare, for psychology, for doles, or whatever. But if I'm going and doing the social work, they are suspicious.
Yes.
They wonder why is she coming? Who is she? Why has she come? Why has she chosen us? So these were the challenges when I used to go and visit them. Because social work, unless you visit, unless you do home visit, unless you go and see the surrounding, I don't think you can do much.
Yeah.
So that was one challenge. And even in the factory, when we are doing employee welfare, the employees don't realize that this is being done from the heart. This is being done for the well-being.
Yeah.
They feel that the government has asked the company
to do it.
To do it. So, or they think that it is the company is getting a benefit. There is an income tax benefit. There is. I mean, it's not that it's not there.
Yeah.
But you have to spend. You see, they are not realizing that the company has to first spend. And the company, not all companies are doing.
Yes.
There are very few companies which are doing.
Yeah, at that point of time, that CSR regulations were not there.
Not there. CSR regulation came up only in 2013. Yeah. So that was my biggest challenge.
Okay.
But to go on working, that's where my conviction, what I'm talking of conviction. If you are convinced that what you're doing, if you have that courage to go ahead with your conviction, you cannot falter.
So Meeraben, you have years of experience in social work. So do you have any advice for youngsters who are joining the social field,
See, I mean, the youngsters, today, of course, it has become a mainstream job, because CSR or medical social work or psychiatric social work.
Yes.
These are all now mainstream.
Yes.
But it is frustrating sometimes, because sometimes snide remarks are made by people who feel that, oh, this person is going to take away the credit. So what the social workers have to do, the young social workers, is to see that they don't take the credit. The credit of social work, the result of social work, is not the person who is doing, but it is the participant, the partner, the client.
Yes.
If they are not cooperating, if they are not coming to you, if they are not accepting your suggestions,
yes.
You cannot do it.
Right. So, Miraben, thank you so much for being on this platform and joining me, taking out the time. I'm sure that our viewers would love to hear more stories about you. Please do subscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed. Miraben, thank you so much for being on this platform.
Thank you very much.